know the half of it. I got dreams of looking up, high as I can get, but nothing feels like how it feels to know these things I don't know yet. The weight of everything, and everything's just thread. Sometimes I'm trapped inside and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but to take on the world is the only thing that we know how to do. I've got dreams of finding out what all of this is for. It's you and me, and everywhere we go will lead to an open door. We've made our mistakes, the good and bad days, but nothing really breaks if I got you. Look at the sky when you go outside, and know there is nothing to keep me back from you. I got dreams of finding out what all of this is for. It's you and me, and no, there is nothing, and everywhere we go will lead it to an open. Keep me back, keep me back, keep me back.
at the world from the eye of the horse. If you Alexander the Great, then I am the forest. Coming straight from the mud like I am a lotus. So हाथियों का बल कैसे सकेगा तू मुझे रोक अब. देख तू कैसे मैं लड़ूं, तुम लोगों से ऐसे ना डरूं. करूं मैं जिससे मैं तरुण, पानी पे चलूं मैं जिससे मैं वरुण. चाहे मैं जीऊं या मरूं, जो करना चाहूं मैं वही तो करूं. आता है तू ना करीब, तू बेटी चीप, जब तक कटे ना तेरी ये जीप. Better believe you're gonna be, pick up a seat, get your team. I'm the king of kings, brother in arms in a battle. You all gonna die if you act like a vandal. Bring the realms to reality from every angle. This is the public service announcement from Mumbai to the rest of the world. I am a Raja. I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना. तू मेरी तरफ आना. आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाज़ाना. ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना. 'Cause I am the Raja. 'Cause I am the Raja. I am the. 'Cause I am the Raja. Look in my eyes, what do you see? I'm more than average man. I'm a maverick, I can grow flowers on a barren land. Break a mountain with my bare hands and step back and cause a literal avalanche. Should've won about is traveling. अष्टभुजाएं मेरी जैसे मैं tarantula. ना है कोई तोड़ मेरा जब से पूर्वजों का ज्ञान मिला. मेरे जैसा मिलेगा कोई ना. तू और चाहे जो भी था सबकी कबर मैंने खोदी. क्या तुम लगाओगे बोलियां, कम पड़े गोलियां. चंद्रगुप्त में मौर्य या किला तू लोरिया. Come to me and you just gonna die. That's really a given. I am invincible and you are invisible. See, that's really a difference. Get out of my way or leave the world. The choice is yours. I don't kill my enemies, I play with them. That's what the toys are for. From Mumbai to the rest of the world, I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना. तू मेरी तरफ आना. आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाज़ाना. ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना. 'Cause I am the Raja. 'Cause I am the Raja. I am the. 'Cause I am the Raja. Put your back down on your knees, would you just ring? Put your back down on your knees, would you? I am the
take you all down like dominoes. I'ma take you out with another spike top. Overheated, but I love to lock and load. I hear the echo, I hear the echo. Bang bang on the back, team with the gushy top. All day. Enough with the chit chat, steady with the one tap. I'ma set it off, just wait. Oh, eres la mejor con la oh no. Sabe que la alfa soy yo. Go, vete vuelve cuando no estoy así. Desapareció. Oh, como piensa que no traigo la peña, la tercera solo. Dame chatarrero que se va a hacer rico. De lo que dejaré tipo el suelo. When my back's against the wall, all the mirrors will watch me ignite it.
I'm out here in the cold night, running till I barely feel my feet. Wanna see it through my own eyes. There's no going back, and I'm not afraid anymore. Cause I know I'm gonna be the last one standing. Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. Yeah, I don't wanna wait anymore. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. See that I'm surrounded by predators. It's critical, they got me in my element. It's dirty how you trying to keep it elegant. Keep my eyes open wide when everyone around me is an enemy. See my life cross my eyes. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. Too bad you can't take me down. You can't take me down. I'm ready to fall, I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they
EMEA Clash, an exclusive tournament-breaking exciting new duels is about to start. But first, today is the day fate draws the line and will decide who will start as Alpha or Omega. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hello and welcome everyone for the draw show of EMEA Clash. I am Kumquat. I will be your host today. I am joined by Haza and Morgan. Haza, how are you as excited as I am?
Of course. Look, how could you not, right? This is the first chance that we're going to get to see Challengers teams play against VCT teams before Stage 2 later this year, and a great opportunity for them at this stage to test their mettle and see what they've got.
Yeah, lots of exciting teams are going to be coming in today to compete. And again, in order to see Challenger teams compete against Tier 1 teams and organizations, is obviously their chance to prove themselves against these teams. So many dreams have been ruined, so many dreams have been crushed, but definitely more and more dreams to be achieved here and achievements to be had for the teams competing, especially against the Tier 1 teams. I'm excited to dive down about teams soon as we start the draw show.
Definitely very interesting team. One thing that is very interesting is that we have the top one, obviously, of each Challenger leagues. So this will bring a lot of show, definitely, in EMEA Clash. And on the other side, we have 6 VCT EMEA teams joining the EMEA Clash in this little bit of time that we have before Masters. 6 teams, though, that did not qualify for Masters, but will make us the honor of participating to EMEA Clash. Aza, is there a team maybe that you're specifically looking for?
Well, I mean, we're spoilt for choice, right? We have all of our kickoff winners in Challengers and the VCT teams which accepted the invitation. I probably want to say the full-strength Ulf roster, now that they're getting the players Echo and Sop back in. I think that's going to make a real difference in terms of how they end up performing here.
I'm extremely going to be biased, of course, to our representative coming in here, Team Stallions from the MENA team representatives. A small information I might be able to debrief it, like TLDR, MENA for Dummies, basically is we had 2 sub-regions compete, and because of course we have so many young talents and we have so many veteran teams in MENA, we had to choose one team from across Middle East, GCC, Iraq, and lots of other countries competing under one sub-region, and North African teams competing after one sub-region. We've had 16 teams competing in the MENA Challenges. Only Stallions has been able to get a ranking score of 7-0. This is a team that has not lost a single game in the VCL League. They performed absolutely well, and you definitely have to keep an eye out on them. We had so many teams going 6-1, 6-1, maybe 5-2, but in both sub-regions, only one team came out on top across without a single loss, and that is going to be Stallions for you.
We will keep an eye out for Stallions then, definitely, in this tournament. I feel a bit lucky also because there are 2 representative of France, Job Life and KC, one in VCT EMEA, one in Challengers. I really hope we see some matchup between these 2 teams, but we'll see if we have the honor of seeing this. But yes, Job Life is the same as Stallions. They were undefeated, and they definitely are a crazy team in VCL France. Maybe, Haza, you know a bit more about Northeast. So what should we expect from Enterprise?
Oh, I mean, we can talk about Enterprise a little bit more later on, but yeah, I have to say, right, they've rebuilt alongside a lot of other teams. We've actually seen quite a few regional restrictions lifted this year in terms of the compositions, right? When you're selecting players from different regions, they used to be LTRs, so you were 3 out of 5 from your region specifically, but a lot of that has been lifted, Northeast included, means that we have some really strong teams, and actually it levels out the playing field when you look to the future when they're competing against these VCT teams that don't have to build around the same kind of requirements.
Another thing that is exclusive in this tournament is definitely the format. Very specific and will bring a lot of show for the viewers, definitely. We have a short video to explain.
Come easy, but this double swing should be difficult to
The EMEA season kicks off at full throttle in 2026. Right after the conclusion of VCT EMEA kickoff and before the start of Masters Santiago, a brand new competition enters the arena, VALORANT EMEA Clash. With 3 VCT EMEA slots on the line for Masters Santiago, 6 of the remaining 9 teams will earn a chance to battle the best teams from the Challengers regions. VALORANT EMEA Clash features 2 interconnected double elimination brackets, Alpha and Omega. Each of these brackets will then crown its own champion. The top 4 teams from VCT EMEA Kickoff will be seeded directly into the second round of these brackets, receiving a bye, and the remaining 2 VCT teams will join 6 Challengers teams in a shared pool. From there, a fully randomized draw will determine placements, with one rule only: the 2 VCT teams cannot land in the same bracket. Starting from round 2, a loss in the upper bracket of Alpha sends a team into the lower bracket of Omega, and vice versa. Every defeat reshapes the battlefield, forcing teams to clash across the 2 worlds as the tournament progresses. As the event unfolds, Alpha and Omega will continue to intertwine at every stage, keeping both teams and fans on edge. Are you ready for Clash? Tune in February 19th to the 25th and support your favorite team as 2 worlds collide for the very first time.
As you see, the format is very interesting. We will see teams exchanges in the bracket. And the first thing that we need to know is that there are 4 teams that have kind of a special treatments. These 4 teams are the first 4 seeds of VCT EMEA region. They actually acquire this status by placing by their placement in a kickoff, and they will place in the second match. So maybe we'll see something a little bit more about these teams. Aza, can you explain a bit more what it is about?
Yeah, look, we have some tiebreaker rules in terms of which teams were selected for this process. We're going to be seeing Fnatic, Heretics, and Pacific in Stage 1. Fnatic and Heretics declined the invitation, whereas Pacific, a little bit unfortunate on the tiebreaker, having the same round and map differential as Foot, but that is the reason for it, I suppose. Yeah, looking at the teams that we have here, I think it's a nice mixture across the board. BBL, Gentlemates, and Liquid, of course, all of them going to Santiago, so they won't be present in this event. And even with that lower final match between Fnatic and Liquid, we knew that it would mean that at least one of the teams that we had in VCT EMEA not be able to make it into Clash.
Obviously, we would have loved seeing Fnatic and Team Heretics and Pacific, but there was only 6 spaces in this bracket for the VCT EMEA teams. So as you said, Vitality, Giantex, Navi and Carmine are the 4 teams that are placed first and will join directly in the second round of the Alpha and Omega brackets. As you will see shortly, they will wait just a turn, just a little bit, before actually playing the first round.
Yeah, now the fact that we've already been told about the format again by that lovely voiceover guy, we get to see Vitality come and
I wonder who he is.
I wonder who he is. And Giant X and Navi already, again, they get a free buy round for their first matches. Now, Challengers teams are going to be drawn accordingly. And of course, this is all randomized. And we did rehearse this quite a few times before we went on the live stream. And let me tell you guys that the assets they got for this stuff is absolutely a banger. So I'm excited to see what the show takes us. And Hazar, we're going to say something about the brackets.
Yeah, absolutely right. We're gonna get to see who it is that's playing who here, and it's gonna be exciting. I mean, look, you already heard me. I explained how it works, right? You lose a game, you go to the other side.
You're the voiceover guy?
Simple enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry to break it to you. Yes, I'm the voiceover guy.
Yeah, I can see a lot of similarities in the voice between you 2 guys, but you definitely look nicer than him. I can tell that you're the nice guy between these 2.
You didn't even see me. What are you on about? Okay. Vitality. Sure, we can start off by talking about them, I suppose. I think this is going to be a really nice first taste of what's to come from them in Stage 1. Obviously, without Liquid and Fnatic, some of the teams that they were close to competing with along the way, I think it's going to be nice now with Sayonara back in the lineup. This is the full-strength lineup that we wanted to see from them. They were playing with Unfake as a substitute. He was there in Stage 2. I've seen someone in chat just say that he grew hair. That's not true. It is Sayonara. It's a completely different player. But yeah, they have the firepower, right? I think this is a roster that you're expecting to be competing in one of those finals.
I think definitely Fatality has something to show in EMEA Clash because they were quite close to qualifying to Masters. They fell down against Liquid, but it was so close to the qualification. And I think definitely they have to take this first place to show the world, or at least EMEA region, that they are on top of the region.
Looking at the highlights, you can tell that they are definitely one of the top French powerhouse organizations in the game, known for very strong individual talent and a lot of tactical play. They definitely do bring a lot of interesting matchups, and this roster has a lot of players that were known for competing in so many rosters. Chronicle as well, one of the most mega minds for the team. Now, I'm not going to make the same mistake again, because in rehearsals, I said Chronicle was IGL, but corrected by the lovely Hazard, then led by the mastermind Yampi himself. And we jump off from that one to Team Giant X, which is also a European organization formed between a merger of Giants and Excel. That's now it's not Giants, it's Giant X, competing across multiple titles, including Valorant. Giant X constantly battles in EMEA. Their aim is always to climb up higher, but that roster is definitely not new for us, Hazard.
No, it isn't, right? It's the antithesis of brand new. They are a consistent team which have kept the same five since the end of stage one last year, and I think that's why people had high expectations for this team coming into kickoff. To some, they would have been perceived as the gatekeepers towards the international places, with 3 spots opening up for Masters, but those expectations did duly shift. I think this is a team which needs to find out again what their identity is in the current meta, playing a lot of the same ideas that they did previously with Double Initiator. Ara as that player on Waylay a lot, diving in solo, maybe not working out for him the same way that it did. The op as well, something that we see him frequently picking up and maybe not getting the same kind of success that he used to. In some ways, it's hard to say what's gone wrong for these guys when they do have such a solid foundation, but I think, yeah, just at least even in the comps, giving themselves a bit higher floor would be a good start.
They definitely showed a lot. I think especially last year we've seen them at the highest level, and it's unfortunate that this year, at least for the kickoff, they were not up at this level, but they will have some time, at least in EMEA Clash, to show a little bit a better face. Our first seed other is Navi. Navi had a short but intense run in the kickoff. They played only 2 matches before their journey ended, but I'm sure we will see them stronger, Morgan.
Of course, an elite European team, lots and lots of competitive pedigree across esports for Navi. They're very experienced on the VCT stage. You cannot tell that they have much debuts. Again, this team is insanely strong, and they're known for their strategic depth as well. And any of these players goes alive, you have to keep an eye out for the clutch potential. Led by the head coach, Andrzej, and I believe that he used to be a player back then, if I'm not mistaken. Ukrainian, by the way. Also, they have Filu as their duelist. Sentinel is hero. Initiator is sociable. I'm not going to be saying each and every one of them, but IGL for that team is the Russian Shao himself, and Navi definitely are such a scary team.
Yeah, big up Ange1 in the coach slot. Angel, for those who are more familiar perhaps, did win Copenhagen with Fs and Shao alongside him in the team at the time. But I think it's important that you mention that, because this roster for me has now turned the corner from inheriting the legacy of that old FPX team and starting to write a new one for itself. People will notice that Ruxic is absent for the roster as he is currently undergoing physiotherapy, so I hope that his recovery is a swift one. But it means that we get Kolosha in, and young Ukrainian talent which will be bearing the flag for the organization. And yeah, with his archetype of duelist really fitting the current meta, aggressive Neon player, super excited to see how that works.
Definitely, we will look for it. The last but not least, obviously, the French Diamonds, that is backed by one of the most passionate 5As in VCT EMEA. I think you cannot follow Valorant without knowing the name of Carmine Corp, so they will be our 4th seed in this upper bracket. What do you expect from this team, Morgan?
Common Corp, extremely well known. They're a French organization, lots and lots of fan base for them in France, and I know that. Extremely dangerous when it comes to the Battle Freeze, and they're very known for volatile and momentum shifting plays. Of course, I'm gonna be vouching for these guys across Stallions as well. Aviz is the only Egyptian Tier 1 player, I wonder why the bias comes from right now, to be competing in Valorant. This player, we've also had like Shalabi compete in Vitality a few years ago, but at this point, Aviz is the only one that has been extremely consistent, coming out from MENA region, competing with KC. He was picked up by Zish, who also used to be coaching Anubis, which was one of the biggest organizations in MENA at the time, and Aviz also moved in straight from that to Team Rad, which also competed in MENA so many times, but now he joined KC, he's on the roster, and you gotta be happy that you got this guy on your team.
Yeah, I'd just love to see a little bit more consistency from this roster. I think they've made big firepower upgrades. I'm much more confident in the separation of roles with this team than I was last year. Aviz has been flexing quite a bit, but they're so committed to these Phoenix Yoru comps, and I think if they can find something which maybe isn't going to be as individually reliant as they've looked at times, then yeah, absolutely, we can see them on the ball, because at points in kickoff, they did push teams and look like they could be dangerous, but yeah, it's just that overall lack of consistency, like a lot of these teams at the start of the year, which is their biggest Achilles heel.
Definitely. It's still the very start of the year. Only kickoff took place. There's still a lot of time to enjoy Valorant and see this team perform, definitely. There are two more teams from VCT EMEA that we have not talked about. It's Foot and Wolf Esports. Maybe, Haza, you have some opinion about these two teams and how they will perform in EMEA Clash?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have a moment a little later on to talk about both Foot and Ulf in a little bit more detail, but I mentioned it right at the start. Ulf have to be an exciting prospect for anyone tuning into this competition between the end of kickoff and Santiago. They have made 2 player changes, 2 players reinstated, it's fair to say. Both Sop and Echo were there in their Ascension run. They were the stars of the Ascension run, I think it's fair to say. So I'm expecting a brand new level from this team. For Foot, they've kind of gone back in their ways, right? They've brought cracks in. It's going to be more of the same. It's the Foot you know, maybe the Foot you love. We'll just see.
Yeah, Foot, unfortunately, they lost the 3 matches that they have in VCT EMEA kickoff, so it was not the great start of the year that we would expect. But I would say that maybe they can do something against this Challenger team. In your opinion, Morgan, will they be able to perform here?
Oh, I definitely am keeping up the trust for them. I think, again, all these teams have had enough time to practice, and they definitely had lots of time to reflect back on their mistakes. Let's say that the EMEA Clash happens in a time where it's considered an off-season for some reason. So you definitely, I mean, it's called an off-season for a very specific reason, not just for some reason. So yeah, they've had time to lick their wounds, they've had time to practice, so I'm keeping up the hype for footballers, definitely.
And on the other side, obviously, we have 6 Challengers team, the best of the best from the regional Challenger League. This is very exciting, as you'd already talked about Stallion, obviously, Morgan, so we all know that Stallion wasn't defeated in the MENA region, and they definitely will show a lot. But we also have other teams. For example, we have Job Life from France that really performed, but also Focus Aza that went 4-0 in the VC Dark.
Yeah, Focus had a bit of a rivalry brewing with them and Eintracht. I wasn't exactly sure who it was that we were going to get from the DACH region, the sort of the second northeast region, because they're always picking players from our region apparently. But no, I'm excited to see how they're going to end up doing. Really looking forward to seeing Shinnok play specifically, someone who we've had in northeast for a little while. Another player poached away from us, and yeah, he's a brilliant talent.
So definitely they're poaching talents from Northeast.
Always, always.
Yeah, I like when Haza mentions this point, by the way, because something that was an issue for MENA region back then when the LTR rule was first activated. We've had, at some point, a team that played in MENA region that consisted of having 5 Russians compete in a MENA area. And again, it was all according to rules and everything. But at this point, teams have now began to try and make local rosters. So you have a team, for example, like Stallions. They have 4 local players with only 1 import, that import player being Susano. This is why also they received a lot of hype, because they're playing in a MENA region with lots and lots lots of MENA talents. Again, the roster only contains one import, despite the fact that they could have had two. They decided to stick with the classics. They got Akai, they got lots of other players from other teams, but also within the area. And again, going undefeated with a roster of 4 local players was also massive for him. So that point that Hazan mentioned definitely grows the fan base for you if you have lots of players from the region competing for the region.
I definitely agree. I think we can see the same exact thing in the VCL France. When the team that is French actually has a lot of French players, the fans follow you. They want to fight for you. Definitely more so than if you have imports. So this is something important for local region. Although you do with what you have, so you have to have talents. If they're not here, you have to poach them from northeast. This is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first ever Ascended team was a French team, Gentlemates, and it's an important point that both of you raised, right? We have 17 different territories represented in this event, but the only national teams are Turkish teams, and you see that reflected as well with how vast the region is, how much of a skill or sort of talent pool they have, I should say, sorry. But yeah, I mean, like even the MENA team is a mix of a few different countries and nationalities, yeah.
Now that we talked about... oh, you wanted to ask something, but maybe...
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to say, again, the fact that, following up on Hazan's points, that if the region has many players from the same area, that definitely does play up with the fan base. Because the way it goes in MENA region, if you're an Arab, you're an Arab. It doesn't matter if you're a Saudi or an Egyptian or a Kuwaiti or an Emirati. You still get the entire fan base following you. So having a national team that is represented by national players, it shows up. It shows up, especially in the Twitch chat.
Definitely. And with all that said, so we've spoke about a little bit about all the teams that will be there in the draw, and we will move into the draw. So we have 8 teams to draw from. There's a little bit of difference. Either you select a VCL team, and we will fill the bracket Alpha Omega, Alpha Omega, Alpha Omega, or we will select a VCT EMEA team, and then we know where they will go. It's the second matchup of 1 in Alpha, 1 in Omega, so that they will not face each other. So let's move on to the draw then.
Let's go. This is the moment that everyone is definitely enjoying the stream for, because they're like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah,
we already know what the teams are about. Just draw already.
Oh,
and it's Focus for the first pick.
So Focus is our first Alpha team. We talked a little bit about it by Aza just previously, and yes, as I highlighted, this team was very strong in kickoff, and there is a lot to look forward from Focus.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an exciting one, man. We've got them on the same side of the bracket as Vitality, potentially, if they move forward. I saw that we had the Vitality coach, Pal, in the chat. We had the Focus manager, Ego. They're both familiar with each other because, of course, Pal used to coach for Focus before moving on to Vitality. And, yeah, I mean, look, this is... I mean, even players as well, right? Mulsi's the in-game leader here. He used to play on Vitality. He started out his career there. There's a bit of an overlap. We have some former VCT talent on this roster, and not just him, but also Serial and Pyrol from last year as well. This is a competitive rebuild. It's hard to see it any other way.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Pays in the chat as well. Competing currently for Focus. This guy definitely competed in our region before with massive results for an organization that also won in MENA last year because of him. And he was the MVP for his team. Pays competed under Galaxy Sports, also in Focus right now. So he also can kind of relate to what I said about the stuff about Stallions and everything. But he was an imported player that played in Gamax, had massive results in our region. And I can tell that Pays is a player you have to keep an eye out for this team.
Definitely. The other player I think we should highlight probably is Serial, because he went to Masters Toronto last year with Team Liquid, so very impressive experience from this player, and definitely can bring a lot of to Focus, right, Aza?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think when you look at this roster as a whole, the overarching narrative has to be players that would be either considered underrated or overlooked. I think for both Pyrol and Serial, they had really difficult tasks of filling in that 5th player role. For Serial, it was Kamek in kickoff. For Pyrol, it was Brave for KC in stage 2. And it was an unforgiving task, right? As a debut player in VCT, you want to have the best swing at it possible, and maybe if you're being forced off-roll, for example, or not giving the best look of yourself, best account of yourself in that situation, it's really tough to then bounce back. But I think that's what this Focus team is all about, bouncing back from those setbacks and proving how good they really can be.
I even like their shots for the team. Like, look at the roster, bro. Like, the Pay's looking at you, like, judging you hard from upside down like that. What is that guy, man?
You're impressed.
I'm scared that I'm impressed. No, that wouldn't be the correct word for it. I'm scared. And I'm not even competing in the tournament. I'm just doing the draws. Like, you don't have to look at me that way. But Focus was our first draw. I'm excited for the second one.
Personally, I would even be more scared from Serial because, so, first of all, quick stat, out of the top 5 ACS in DACH, Focus had 3 spots. So there are 3 players that are in the top 5 ACS, so very impressive. And the first player is Serial. So he's playing some Sentinels, also Reyna, I don't know why, but okay, let's go. So, and he has actually a better ICS than Pace, which is the duelist, so very impressive from this player. And Focus definitely will be a team to look for in this EMEA Clash. And just with that said, we're going to move on to the second row because we want to know who will go to Omega bracket.
It's alright, Pace. Even if the stats are not it, you're still my goat. Don't worry.
I mean, the stats are still there.
And it's going to be Enterprise. Okay. Interesting team. We've had Hazard tell us a lot about this team, and if I was correct with what I heard, Kumkwa, you also said that they were undefeated in their own Challenges League, so exciting second draw.
Completely, yes. They went undefeated in the kickoff in Northeast region, and they still are undefeated in a stage 1, so very, very impressive from this team. Definitely a team to look for. I mean, we just have the best of the best in this tournament from VCL region. It's so cool to have all the best team from the regions, as I think probably you will look forward to this region that has a special place in your heart.
Of course, we're getting the good ones, the heavy hitters out of the way first, right? Focus and then straight into Enterprise. But jokes aside, yeah, as an organization, look, they've been active in challenges since 2021, but only really last year did we see them actually contend as a top team in challenges. As an organization now, they're on a 21-game win streak domestically, just for best of 3s. I know maybe it's a bit of a cherry-picked stat, and they do still have a game against VR2 before the tournament starts, but they've shown that they're willing to keep investing resources into making themselves one of the big names. And when you look at the faces here on this team as well, not only do you have players that have been in VCT before, but you've got some real stalwarts in Tier 2. I'm looking at Alluri and Lime specifically as an in-game leader who has been there and done it many times with Maus, even Focus before, and Lime the same, actually. Same 2 teams, but at different times. So players that I think if anyone has any familiarity with challenges, they'll know exactly who those 2 are.
We talked about the players staying in one region, but Lime definitely is the opposite of this because he went through many VCL regions. To name a few, he went to Spain and Germany, for example. So a player with a lot of experience that definitely brings a lot to this structure. We can also highlight, for example, Magnum, that has a lot of experience in T1. Do you expect something from this player, Morgan?
Oh, I think you guys already gave all the information when it comes to that team. So I, again, have lots and lots of hopes for Enterprise, because hearing that a team comes out with 0 defeats in their career, specifically in a league that is as strong with competition when it comes to Northeast, is definitely like surprising for me, because you would think that the skill level there is so high, so you wouldn't have one team essentially stomping or winning all of their matches, even if it comes up as wins. I don't want to be deceived by the results saying that they're undefeated. Maybe the games were close, maybe we got to overtimes and everything, because of course I don't know the history of the team through their entire league, but still hearing that they were undefeated through an entire run brings a few bells when it comes to other regions. So keeping an eye on Enterprise, and I can expect a lot from a team like that. So shout out to everyone cheering for them for Czech Republic specifically.
And what's more impressive is that it's not even only undefeated, is that in the kickoff they didn't lose any map. They didn't.
Okay, so
zero
it was
maps
stomps.
lost. So
It was stomps.
yes, stomps very.
I was trying to
impressive.
sugarcoat it, Kumquat, but you had me. Okay, they did stomp their entire run basically.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do against Stallions. Maybe because it's still open, so maybe we will see this matchup in the first match. And let's move on to the third draw and see who will go to Alpha bracket.
Don't make it Stallions. If it's Stallions, they'll probably set off to the group of death. But now it's Olfen Footballist. Okay.
Okay, so we selected the VCT EMEA team. So Foot is the one that will go to Alpha bracket because we selected the first one. So Ulf automatically goes to Omega bracket because we do not want these two teams to face each other. Foot, we've already talked a little bit about them, but definitely they're the team that have to prove a little bit more than the other seed from VCT EMEA because they struggled a little bit more in the kickoff, but definitely can prove themselves, especially Ulf, that is very recent in the region, in the tier 1. Asa can definitely show other challenger team why they are here.
Yeah, no, absolutely they can. I think it's nice to see that Ulf are going to be coming back to another one of these tournaments as well, where now they are the big dogs, I guess, right? They haven't played any officials as the same 5 which ascended since they were in challenges. But let's talk about Foot first here. They have made a player change coming into this event. Baha, one of the 2 rookies, was cut in favor of Krax, who is going to be rejoining the side. And with the way that KO sits in the meta at the moment, Fade even as well, I think more specifically as his 2 main agents, this does fit them quite nicely. In terms of sort of what didn't really go well for them in kickoff, I don't know. There were so many different things, honestly. But they have the individuals, right? And they always have. I don't know. It seems like it's got to a strange point in time right now where you've got so much Turkish talent coming in. Already they've been undercut as the top dog by BBL as they've sort of been sitting in the shadow now for the good part of the last year. They didn't get the first pick on any of the new talent coming in either. They had to get creative with Krostali, and I guess maybe even just going back to what works for them could see an improvement. It's a long road though.
Yeah, everyone from Turkey right now is going to be extremely happy. There you go. You got both Turkish teams on different sides of the groups. They eventually might be meeting up at some point, but Footballist is the roster that definitely represents Turkey. They did compete in VCT Kickoff and Challengers, and they bring a lot of aggressive plays. But Ulf Esports, they do stand out. That team has climbed from Challengers straight away into T1 competition. And if you're a Turkish fan, just as Hassar said, we have 2 teams, so we're swarmed by Turkish talents, and Turkey definitely has some strong competitive grounds and roots that grow players into tier 1 competition. I'm excited to see that they might be meeting each other at least at the highlights. When it comes to both of them, you can tell that they have a lot of individual talent, but at least they're on the other side of each other now. They might be meeting close enough. Imagine we just get a final between these 2. We just get a full Turkish finals. It's possible.
I believe the Turkish fans definitely won this matchup. But yes, a lot of Turkish talent, definitely a very strong region for Valorant. And our second team is Ulf. I talked a little bit about it earlier. They're new to Tier 1, so they have a lot to prove. And this kickoff was unfortunately a bit hard for them, but definitely they will be able to prove themselves in this EMEA Clash, as they bring a lot to the region.
They absolutely do. Honestly, if you were impressed by what you saw from BBL in kickoff, and you don't know who Ulf are, expect a lot more of the same, honestly. They really geared up and gelled to the stage as they went on, but it was a completely different version of the roster to the one that we're expecting here. And with Echo and Sop back in the lineup, these 2 are genuinely next generation talents that we're expecting from Turkey specifically. They fit in with that crop of BBL players, I think it's fair to say in some ways. Sure, I don't think many people were expecting them to make the Ascension run when they did, but they have now. And given a little bit of time, especially this EMEA Clash event as well, it's going to be a huge opportunity for them to build up a couple extra reps in an official environment before they get let loose in stage 1.
Yeah, you're speaking about a team, again, that was the Ascension EMEA 2025 champion, and then they definitely promoted for VCT EMEA Tier 1 for 2026, and they've had a massive run and first place again in the EMEA Challenges in Stage 3. This is a team that has been proving worthy for every single chance that they got, and their pressure and aggression helps them overcome big teams like Dynasty and Mandatory and other top challenger squads on their way to the Ascension glory. So Ulf Esports definitely do massive performances in every game they have been to, and now we're halfway through, and now we're down to, wait, is it? We're more than halfway through actually. We still only have 3 more teams.
Yes, we drawn already 5 teams because we had the 2 VCT EMEA. But yes, I agree with you. Definitely, Ulf is a team to look forward. I think the beginning of the year was maybe the step to Tier 1. It's a bit hard for them, but they will catch up because their 2025 years were just amazing, and they definitely have a lot of talent. And if we give them enough time to build on it, definitely they will be able to do so. So let's move on to our 6th draw.
5th.
Sorry, I cannot count anymore.
4 at this point.
Yeah, because
we're halfway through.
Yeah. So we will know who will face then, I think, Jobline.
Oh, please don't put Stallions on the left side. Please don't put Stallions on the left side.
Yeah.
Thank God. You can guess drawn, Hazza.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I said you can guess drawn. Apparently, it's not going to be Stallions on the group of death. Is it safe to announce now that the left side has the most of the group of death teams?
I don't think so. I think it looks pretty balanced across both sides, to be honest. And with the fact that we're going to flip in the lower bracket as well, yeah, who knows? But no, this is an interesting first game. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure in the green room I actually said it was going to be Focus UCAM in the first round, or maybe I'm lying. Who knows? But yeah,
you know,
I have the
we will
script.
say you're not lying.
Oh wait, yeah, he did. I could swear now that we were rehearsing. He said that it's gonna be focused on UCAM, and you know what, guys? Don't call me out on it if it goes on stream because I might be jinxing it a little bit. But if Focus and UCAM are unhappy with the results, you know who to go at, and I think it's that voiceover guy. They look very similar.
The team from Spain, UCAM, yes, will face Focus. So this is the Spain versus Germany fight for the first bracket. We have a lot to look forward for these teams. Definitely, they did well, obviously, in VCL Spain, because otherwise they would not be here. It's quite interesting because they have some new players for this 2026 year. Jesse, Fancy, and Olizera are joining us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete rebuild for UCAM where they had quite a consistent core before, where Quick was in-game leading, Thunder, some of those names, if you're familiar with the Spanish Challenger League. But Famzi's actually returning here. He was one of the players which actually temporarily got promoted to Giant X's VCT roster alongside both Ara and Flickless. It was actually towards the end of last year when he ended up doing that. Or sorry, no, it was 2024, I should say. But we saw him in Ascension with Dynasty, looked really good. He's paired up now with some other names which we've seen floating around in Challengers for a while. Olizera got a chance at Tier 1, but Buld, Bisk, Jesse, all been here for a while now, and yeah, they have buckets of potential. I think this is a really strong team.
Everybody remembers when they went with a dominating 3-map victory in the finals, and they've had a lot of strong tactical execution and the total competitive experience, which is, I think, is a very fun fact when it comes down to this team's spans around more than 250 plus official matches, mix of domestic titles, and has a lot of strong challenger placings. This is a team that has constantly finished near top when it comes to VCL Spain, so you definitely have to keep an eye out on them. I don't think that this team has anyone that is to be considered like underperforming at all. UCAM to me is one of the strongest contenders when it comes to both Spain and on the left side of the map as well.
That's definitely a team that has a lot of potential. Also, so many young talents in this tournament. And also, we can highlight that, as you said, they will face Hara and Fickless that used to be in UCAM. So this should be a very interesting matchup also. If we have the chance to face it, to see it in this tournament, because as you see, the bracket is intertwined. So could be a surprise. We will move on to the 6th draws, I think, and see who will face Stallions this time.
Oh, and face
Not
Stallions.
Stallions, sorry.
No, did you
Well, maybe you know.
Is it Stallions?
Hey, it might be Stallions.
It is Stallions.
It is
That's
Stallions.
actually crazy
Okay,
work
cool.
from you.
Well,
That is
I'm not
crazy.
supposed to leak the script like that. Just saying. Just saying. But what's happening? Because Hazard called that it's going to be focused on UCAM, and then you called that it's going to be Stallions. Am I the only one in the dark here?
Morgan, mate, we've got to get a prediction from you. You got a 50% chance on the next one, mate. So
I promise you I'll mess it up. Don't
You can
try
try.
me with RNG stuff, bro. I'll mess it up. I'm not the luckiest guy on the team here, but yeah, Stallions, massive
Yeah.
performance. Again, I'm very happy that I get to speak about this team now. If you guys would allow me, this is the team that comes from my region. And again, we've had lots and lots of love spread out for all the Spanish people and all the Northeastern teams. But this is a team that has, again, 4 national players. Koji, Akai, Brigzel, Susano being the only input in this team again. They had one of the youngest players on the team in the region, Akai. This guy reached Radiant when he was 15 years old, or 16 if I am to be correct. He has competed before in teams that included Triple Z Sports. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was also in Falcons, which was later on rebranded, and that team got entirely swiped to TU to compete again in Ascension last year. They performed absolutely well, and this is a team that has lots and lots of mix of national talents, but the youngest player on the team being Akai, absolutely performing really well. And Susano, who also happened to win the MENA MVP for the last split when it came to VCL. This team has a lot of individual skill, and if you know one thing about MENA region, or if you've watched at least one series from MENA region, you do know that these guys are the sheriff demons and gods all across. They make Vice Ultimate looks absolutely useless. Eco rounds for these guys, it seems to make like they have a full buy going on for them. So Stallions is a team that you do not want to take any risks or gambles when it goes against them in eco rounds, specifically if they're on the side of Thrifty. They make it seem like it's a full buy, I'll tell you that, Hazza.
Yeah, I mean, look, I completely agree with you on the Akai point. I think he was one of the hottest MENA talents we had in 2024, alongside players like Sand and Exit, which we saw recently in Ascension. He was part of Falcons back then, of course, but then took a year's break, and we didn't see him compete until 2025 with this team. Now it's their first time in an inter-regional event as a roster, as an organization. The one point I will make, I think, is that arguably this team is less competitive than some of the rosters we could have had from North Africa. The record looks better for them in this part of the Middle East, simply because maybe there isn't as much competition there, and because it was averaged out on the 2, this is the representation that we end up getting. So I think it is important to sort of add that detail there, and not just say that they completely sweeped a region where maybe they weren't pitted against the best opponents they could possibly have faced. But absolutely there is talent here, and look, people always underrate MENA, and they always seem to do pretty well in these events. So yeah, I won't say any more.
And if it was maybe like for the past few years, I could tell you that North Africa was on par, but in this specific year, in this specific split, we've seen GCC teams really uprise with North African teams, right? Because the scrims that has been happening between these two sub-regions this year specifically, and this split specifically when it came to the kickoff split, GCC has only been stomping. So despite the fact that they did not officially meet when it comes to tournaments, but in between scrims, GCC has been just stomping. It was between Stallions and Qadisiyah. Both of these teams, when they faced each other on the final series, had a scoring of 6-0. So it was essentially that one series that decided the entire fate of MENA for kickoff split. Had we gotten Qadisiyah, it would have also been like pretty close between these two. So I do agree with you. Hearing the score saying that they completely sweeped doesn't essentially mean they're the best. They were just a little bit better when it came to the finals, but I do appreciate the fact that he said we have lots and lots of talent that is also hidden in the region for MENA.
I don't know at this point how many teams we have that have been undefeated in this kickoff, but definitely a lot of them. So it will be back to reality with this tournament for a lot of them. And we will move on to the last draw. So what is your take, Morgan? The one that is big will face Foot.
It's got to be Job Life. Everyone in chat wants Job Life to play Foot.
Oh.
I won't swing you though, Morgan. Mate, this is yours. This is your 50%, bro.
This is mine now.
Yeah, I won't say anything. This is all.
But
you.
since everybody's saying it, and since you sweep me next to it, I think that it's not gonna be this one. I think it's always like when you speak about it, you jinx it. What you want doesn't come at you. It's gonna be Besiktas.
Okay, let's see.
I guess. Do the draw. Drum roll. Drum roll. I'm gonna hide my face if it's Besiktas. Oh, it's Besiktas.
No, it's Job Life.
Oh, it is Job Life. Okay. See, I told you, don't try me with 50-50s. I'm horrible at that, man.
I mean, next time maybe, Morgan. But yes, this will be Job Life against Foot, and Besiktas will face Ulf in this first draw. So quite a challenge to start with for Job Life, for these two teams, basically, because they will face VCT EMEA teams right away, getting directly into the wing of things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to look at the bracket right now and figure out which looks slightly stronger. I'm maybe leaning a little bit more towards Alpha, but at the same time, I mean, that all-Turkish matchup, Ulf versus Besiktas, to start off into the Na'Vi game is going to be really exciting. So I'm kind of torn. It's balanced, but I think that kind of regional parity is really good for the competition.
I think Ulf versus Besiktas will be very interesting, but we will focus first on Job Life, a team, as I said before, that has been performing really, really well in France. They had 5 top 1 out of 6. They played since 2024, most of them against a mandatory team, but they won almost all of them. So a very, very strong team. Morgan, I think especially with a new addition, for example, Enzo comes from a mandatory, the arch-enemy team of Job Life.
Yeah, Job Life is definitely a scary team. I think I have more information about Besiktas when it comes to that aspect though. So Haza, you want to speak about Job Life?
Yeah, man, look, allez le Job Life.
Bring the ball.
These guys always looking pretty good, right? Regionally, they have the most titles of any team here, if you were to make that direct comparison, of course. We've got, like plenty of household names that have played in VCT over the years. Everyone here has, except for Chiwa on the technicality that he didn't secure a visa for BBL. So, I mean, really, if you want to say that, then yeah, all of these players have VCT experience. And Chiwa has been here since the very start, right? Look all the way back to 2021. He's been playing at an incredibly high level. You know what you're getting with this team. The chat's going absolutely crazy for these guys as well. They have some of the best supporters that we have in EMEA, and they've got to be one of the top contenders in this competition, at least on the challenger side of things.
I think definitely most of the players have a lot of experience. It's a roster that has a lot of potential, players that played in Tier 1, players that have been playing for years. Definitely one team to look forward. The only sad thing about Job Life is that they always lost in Ascension, even though they really, really perform well during the year. So maybe this is their chance to show that they can have the level to beat VCT EMEA team. At least I wish them that it happens. And the first team that they will face will be Foot, so they will have this opportunity right away. The second team that we have is Besiktas, that will face Ulf. So maybe now, Morgan, you can talk about this team.
Yeah, I just jinxed it as well at the start of the stream when I said that we might not get both of the Turkish teams fitting each other right, but now we get Besiktas versus also a Turkish-based team. Their coordinated default control using most of their utility to end up shaping mid-rounds and find opening kills. They do have some aggressive side entries, you gotta give them that, because with players like Wezi and Influx on the team, they'll always tend to take early fights and create space for the team. In the flexible team scenarios, Mercer, leading the team, prioritizes smart post-plan positions. He doesn't want to take the risks, he doesn't want to do anything on the spot. He just likes to play, let's adapt, let's do what they're doing. Their playstyle isn't really like hyper-aggressive. I cannot compare them to a team like Stallions that just goes crazy, ignoring most of the util and just going ham on sites. They hover between structured setups, opportunistic skirmishes, and they try to adapt to whatever the opponent tempo is. You want to play it slow, we'll play it slow. You want to play it correctly, we'll play it correctly. You want to play it slowly, we might switch that as well. There's not yet been a top international VCT like top-level performance for him, but this is a team that is ranked 252 when it comes to all the teams competing in the VCL, so there is lots and lots of room for growth for Team Besiktas, but they definitely have a lot of individual talent, and this team, I love their playstyle personally, because they play Valorant as they should. You do not just go absolutely ham, you adapt, and you study the opponent really well before you go in, Hazard.
Yeah, mate. I mean, look, personally, I wouldn't be trusting the VLR rankings in the big 2026. I'd put them way higher than 215 or whatever.
Yeah, on paper,
said.
Just on paper, but
especially in the context of this tournament, when we only have 12 teams in VCT.
Of course.
But yes, I have to agree, right? This is a first competition for them at this level as an organization and as a roster of 5 players. And look, someone had to fill that vacuum, because not only did BBL go up last year as Pacific, but also Ulf as well. It was that kind of rapid development and rapid influx of talent that we didn't expect from Turkey. So someone has to step up, and instead of it being an eternal fire with some veteran talent or even a Galatasaray, it's Besiktas, another organization formed off the back of a Turkish football club, They hadn't been active in Challengers, actually, for a couple of years. They had rosters in Game Changers and such, but yeah, the Challengers roster hadn't been active for a while. They picked up the TFT Demons side, which we saw playing in Blender, that ended up having a pretty decent run. And one of those players that you mentioned as well, Wezzy, was part of Ulf previously, so he's going up against his former team, the team that left him to rot in Tier 2. So this is a brilliant storyline coming straight into the first round.
Definitely a good first round that we're going to see in this EMEA Clash. So now we have all the draw done. We know what the first matchups will be. And I think if I had to choose one, I think maybe I would choose Foot and Job Life, and I really, really, really want Job Life to win, because if they win, they will directly face Karmin Corp, the matchup that I've been talking about, that I think a lot of people actually want to see from France. At least this would be amazing. So this is my go-to for the first matchup. This is the one I'm looking for. What is yours, Aza?
Ooh, in terms of matchups specifically, I can't really say too much without starting to predict what the bracket is going to end up looking like. But I can definitely see, and I said it a couple times already, I can see Ulf making a pretty deep run here. I can see Vitality doing the same in the uppers on their side as well. I think Job Life look pretty strong in general. But in terms of first round matchups and matchups that we actually know, I got to go with that Ulf game again, to be honest.
Oh, for my side, I think it's going to be Stallions versus Enterprise to look out for sure, because this
No
is
way.
that, again, both of them have been... Yeah, no way. Both of them have been quite undefeated when we said in their runs. Not just keeping up the hype for Stallions, because I could easily shift all my bias to Common Cope when it comes to them. Again, Aviz, lots of love for that guy, but both teams have not been defeated at all. I love the fact, though, that we're going to be having all of these games streamed. Some of them might be on the back of house, so we're not going to be missing any of the streams for these games otherwise, so you can watch all of these games regardless. But I'm definitely looking for the Stallions versus Enterprise, because, hey, it was both of you who got me hyped up for the Enterprise team. So, definitely against Stallions, that is going to be the first game that I'll be looking for here. Oh, Hazar, you okay?
Yeah, mate, I was actually so excited that there's been a technical difficulty, so apologies for that.
Everything is under control, guys. Don't worry. The good thing is that we picked 3 different matchups. So at least we hyped 3 of them. The last one is Focus versus UCAM. So 2 challenger teams, 2 teams that did really, really well against in their kickoff, obviously, because they are here. I think it will be very interesting. And one point that is really interesting, Morgan, is that the team that wins will actually face Seed 1 from VCT EMEA. So if they win directly Vitality, this is definitely going to be difficult.
Yeah, you want to win, but you also don't want to win after seeing these brackets. Like right now, you do know that you want to set up yourself for the worst, really, because again, you're speaking about facing one of the best teams, if not the best when it comes to the upper brackets. Hazard, they predict that Vitality are going to be going for a deeper run. So, you know, after winning the first nemesis, you're going to be facing a secondary nemesis in these brackets. All of these teams, they do have their weaknesses, and going on the first team to play on stream puts you at a slight advantage and disadvantage at the same time, because the other teams can watch you out in the big open, study for you. They know exactly what you're going for. And again, to win this matchup, go against Vitality afterwards, you're definitely set for a run that is very, very hard to get out from Hazard.
Yeah, no, it absolutely would be. For those wondering, BOH back of house, I think it just means that it will be broadcasted separately. So I imagine you'll have to be looking towards co-streams for coverage of that. The live games are the games that will be on the main stream. So yeah, Job Life on the mainstream, no worries. To all the viewers wondering where that one's
Yes!
going to be going. And the same for the Turkish matchup as well. So both VCT teams on the mainstream to kick it off.
Yes, we have a lot planned ahead. As you said, we will see both of the VCT EMEA teams on Thursday. So it's in 2 days. Set up your alarms, be there. It's at 7 p.m. CET. Just do the math if you're somewhere else in the world. But we will be there, at least us, because we will not miss these 2 matchups. I think this is going to be an amazing tournament. Definitely a lot of very interesting matchups coming ahead. I mean, we talked a lot about all the teams, and definitely there is a lot of talent here for EMEA Clash, coming from VCT EMEA, but also from the Challenger League. So be there on Thursday, 7 p.m. CET. There is date to mark on your calendar.
If I'm correct, CAT is equivalent to GMT +1.
Yes.
So that might help with the conversion a little bit. For example, in my time zone, GMT +2 stands for most of the people that are like within the MENA region area. So if you're from MENA, you're excited for the Stallions matches, it's GMT +2 or +3, or you know what, just a simple Google search really solves all that. Just type CAT and it will do it for your time occasionally. You have that one already, but all the games that are streamed in the back of houses, all the games that are in the back of houses will also be streamed, so you're not going to be missing out of those, exclusively again on the other Challengers leagues like Dach, Spain, Turkey and France, just as my lovely Kome here has explained. So make sure that you do not miss any of these streams. Yes, just as he said, Job Live fans, you can be happy. You got the game on the main channel. Lots and lots of love for you, but all of the other games, you're not going to be missing them. We'll be streaming all games between all teams come.
I think this closes the draw show, right? Maybe you have one last word for the viewers to hype us up a little bit more, if it was not enough already, Haza?
I don't know. Last time I got too excited, the camera went off. We can't be having a technical draw show, can
and I
we?
think
That's a little too EMEA, but I think, look, this is going to be a great first stepping stone in 2026, looking on towards next year, proving that, you know, with all of the branding aside, these are not two completely different worlds, that Challengers and VCT are not that far apart in terms of level, and actually expect plenty of upsets. I would be surprised if in the first round we didn't see at least one Challengers team beat a VCT opponent. Feel like it's almost set up in that way, actually, especially for that Job Life game. Sorry, Foot fans, but that's how I see it, at least. So, yeah, I mean, hey, just skip 2 days ahead and we'll be fine.
We'll be there. You'll be there also, Morgan?
Of course, I'll be there. I'm going to be vouching, of course, for, again, the 100th time. I don't want to be repeating myself, but you know what? I'll be vouching.
Oh, just do it.
I'll be vouching for Footed Ulf. No, just kidding, of course. Common Coop and Team Stallions, I'll be setting up an eye for these two matches. I'm so happy, and it was such an honor to be a part of the Joe Show. Again and forever, I'll be always proven to be the most horrible guy when it comes to predictions. Even I'm at 50-50, I couldn't get it right, but, you know,
Next time.
At least my camera stayed up for the rest of the stream, so you kind of get what you can't have. But like, I was extremely happy.
Fired.
I was extremely happy again to be here with my lovely Kome Hazal. We worked together like almost 3 years ago now. At the time, I'm 2.5 years. So to be coming here again for a lovely reunion, watch all these teams get drawn to face up each other. I'm excited for the EMEA Clash for these teams, and best of luck to whoever you're cheering, wherever you're cheering from. This is gonna be a true massacre for any teams playing and competing against each other.
Thank you too for being here with me for the draw show. It was an amazing taste for what's coming ahead. So thank you everyone who watched the draw show. See you in 2 days on Thursday. Be there because we will, and we are very, very, very hyped for this tournament.
Visions in my head of this, you don't know the half of it. I got dreams of looking up, high as I can get, but nothing feels like how it feels to know these things I don't know yet. The weight of everything, and everything's just fate. Sometimes I'm trapped inside and I don't know what I'm gonna do. But to take on the world is the only thing that we know how to do. I've got dreams of finding out what all of this is for. It's you and me, and everywhere we go, it leads to an open door. mistakes, the good and bad days, but nothing really breaks if I got you. Look at the sky when you go outside, and oh, there is nothing to keep me back.